Okay. Okay. Now we will start. Okay. Those who have joined meeting late, please mention your roll number in the chat box so that I will collect the attendance at the end of this session. Okay. This is our first lecture for this plastic engineering subject. This is your free elective subject, and first of all, I will introduce you to the examination pattern, or you can say that examination scheme and teaching scheme. Okay, as per your syllabus content, we are going to conduct 3 hours here. They have mentioned 3 hours, but we are going to take 5 hours per week and 2 hours per week practicals. And then in the examination scheme, in semester examination means your final examination, it will carry 70 marks. Then in semester examination, that is your ISC, it will carry 30 marks. Then in semester assessment, that is your internal term, it will be for 25 marks. And for this particular subject, external oral examination will be there and it carries 25 marks. Okay, this will be your teaching scheme and examination scheme. And then after this, we will go to the course introduction. In the course introduction, uh, it contains what exactly you are going to study throughout this subject. Okay, that will come in the course introduction part. Now, in this course introduction, your first or initial part will be you have to study how these plastic materials are extracted. Okay, extracted means their source, and after that, we are going to deal with the classification of that plastic materials and manufacturing processes. Okay, this will be your first part. Then in the second part, we are going to discuss the properties of the plastic materials. Then we are going to compare different plastic materials depending on their structure, their properties. Then you can take into consideration what is the cost of manufacturing and then the processing time required. According to these different points, we are going to study different plastic materials and we are going to do the comparison of different plastic materials. Then the third part will be this is I think this is the same part. Then can go for the fourth one. We are going to discuss the design of the different plastic components. In that we are going to design we are going to consider the design of the different molds. Then how we are going to select the proper design with whether noise is coming. Please provide me reply in the chat box whether noise is coming. Okay, okay. Some disturbing noise is there. Okay, some maintenance work is going in the nearby area. So I will wait for a few minutes. Okay, I will wait. I will pause. Take a pause here. Okay, now okay. Okay. It is stopped now. Okay, we will continue. Okay, I will repeat this part. In this subject, initially we will start with the introduction to the plastic material. Then we will deal with the how these plastic materials are extracted from their respective sources and how they are manufactured. We are going to manufacture different plastic materials and we are going to deal with the classification of that plastic materials. Then okay, I will take a pause here. Again some noise is coming here. Wait for a few seconds. Okay. Yeah, sorry for disturbance. I will continue here. So after studying the extraction, manufacturing, and their classification, we are going to do the study the comparison of the different plastic materials and we are going to take different points here. In that we are going to discuss this. Sorry for this. Whether my voice is clearly audible. I think this maintenance work will continue for 1 hour. If my voice is clearly audible, I will continue. Okay, I will continue here. I think they have decreased the voice. Okay. Okay. I will continue with the course introduction. After studying the extraction, manufacturing, and classification of the processes related to the plastic material. After that, we are going to discuss the different methods or different manufacturing processes to manufacture different kinds of the plastic material. And we are going to compare that processes by considering some points like cost or processing time. And after that, we are going to deal with the design of the molds. Okay, design of the mold and design of the different plastic parts, and that we are going to deal in the second section. And also we are going to deal with the different kinds of the practical component. Means they will provide you one problem, or they will provide you one statement, and according to that statement or according to that problem provided, you have to make a design of the different plastic components. Okay. Means in the I think in the fourth chapter, that part is there, and compulsory 8 marks question will be there. Okay, I will summarize this course introduction. Initially we are going to start with the classification of the plastic materials. Then we are going to compare their properties, then different structures. Then after studying this, we are going to deal with the different manufacturing processes and different joining processes which we are going to use for this different plastic materials. And after that, after the introduction and the manufacturing and joining processes, in the next part we are going to deal with the design of the different plastic components. Okay, different plastic parts, as well as we are going to discuss related to the different types of the molds, how different kinds of the molds are designed. That is the part of the second section. And at the end, we are going to discuss related to the means some composite materials and some advanced with reference to their applications only. Okay, we are not going to discuss their composition in brief. Just we are going to take their reference, and in brief we are going to discuss related to their applications. Okay, so this is the introduction part of the plastic material. And after this introduction part, we'll move towards the next slide. Okay, before starting the actual plastic engineering subject, some prerequisites are required. Okay, this knowledge is compulsory to understand the content of the plastic engineering subject. Wait. Okay, so these are the prerequisites required for a better understanding of the plastic engineering subject. The first prerequisite is you should have knowledge related to the engineering chemistry and polymers. I think this part you have studied in the first year, or you may have studied in your diploma courses, or you may have studied in the your first year of the engineering. Then the second prerequisite is you should have basic knowledge related to the manufacturing process. And this subject you have studied in the second year of your engineering in the manufacturing process. Separate subject is there. Separate. I think you have studied this part, different manufacturing processes. And the third point also, different welding processes. Okay, this manufacturing processes and the different welding processes. Already you have studied in the second year. We are going to take the reference of that processes related, and we are going to discuss that process related to our plastic engineering materials. Okay, and the last part is the basic design knowledge you required here. There will be questions, means they will ask you the bush design made from the plastic material. Okay, for providing one solution, you should have some basic knowledge related to the design also. Okay, so for better understanding of this plastic engineering subject, You should have knowledge related to the engineering chemistry, then different kinds of the polymers, then basic manufacturing processes and welding processes that already you have studied in the second year, and some basic knowledge related to the design is also required, which will be helpful for design making the design of the plastic components. So these are the prerequisites of this plastic engineering subject. Then after this prerequisites, if you are not aware of these things within first few days, try to go through these introductory parts. What are the polymers, then which are basic manufacturing processes and basic welding processes, and try to read some basic design related concepts. Okay, it will help you to for better understanding of this plastic engineering subject. Then now, and this is the actual syllabus content. In our syllabus, we have 8 chapters here. Okay, 8 chapters or 8 units will be here, and it will be divided in the two sections. First section contains 4 chapters, and second section contains 4 chapters. Approximately 40 hours, 36 to 40 hours are required for completion of the syllabus. Okay, uh, please note down the syllabus content, or we'll start with this. Okay, just syllabus content. Please note down the syllabus content. Just chapter wise finish it and mention it in the chat box so that I will explain it and I will move towards the next slide. Okay, please note down this. I will wait for 1 minute here, and after that I will explain this slide. Please mention in the chat box after completing this write up. Please complete this. You can write while I will explain it. So this is your first chapter, introduction to the plastics. In this we will discuss what is the meaning of the plastic material, and we are going to summarize, or we are going to discuss in brief the classification of the plastic material along with its definition, then properties and applications. Then we are going to discuss the testing methods which are conducted on the plastic materials to determine their properties. Like we are conducting the tensile test method to determine the tensile strength. We are conducting the hardness testing on the metals to determine their hardness. Like that, we are going to conduct different testing methods to decide their properties. Then some additives will be there, additives which we are adding in the plastics to change their characteristics or properties. And after that we are going to discuss related what is the meaning of monomer and what is the meaning of polymer. And one concept will be there, that is the polymerization along with its classification. All these parts we are going to discuss in this introduction to the plastics. Okay, what is the meaning of the plastic material and their classification, their properties. Then we are going to discuss some applications, and after that how the testing of the plastic material is done, how we are going to improve their characteristics or properties by adding different kinds of the additives. Then one concept is there, that is the polymerization. And to understand that concept, you have to first study the what is the meaning of the monomers and what is the meaning of the polymers. Okay, this is very important question. This polymerization, compulsory one question will be there on this polymerization. Okay, in examination, your theoretical examination, compulsory one question will be there on this polymerization. And one question will be there on testing methods. Okay, 3 4 testing methods are there. One method compulsory they will ask in your final examination, And from remaining part, that is from additives, classification, properties and definition, one question will be there. Okay, approximately three questions they will ask from this introduction to the plastics. Okay, please note down this, write down the name, number of hours required and the content of this chapter. After finishing your writing, please mention that in the chat box that you have completed it, so that I will move towards the next slide. Aniket Pawar. Aniket Pawar, are you there? Aniket Pawar, please provide me reply. Uh, you can unmute yourself and give me reply whether you have written this. Aniket Pawar. Aniket Pawar is there. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Uh, please note down the syllabus content. Okay. Okay. If you have completed, I will move towards the next slide. Okay. So this is the second chapter from our first, that is processing of the plastics. Now, in this processing of the plastics, here we are going to deal with the different manufacturing processes and different joining or welding processes that we are going to use for the different plastic materials. Okay, in this, injection molding is there, extrusion molding is there, then sheet forming processes, calendering, blow molding, then processing of thermostatic plastics is there, then compression molding, transfer molding, and a rotational molding process is there. Okay, this is the second chapter. In this second chapter, we are going to deal with the different manufacturing processes, how the raw material is converted into the different shapes and size, okay, from the plastic materials only. And in the third chapter, we are going to deal with the different joining processes or welding processes, how we can join the different plastic components. Okay, in this we are going to discuss different welding methods or processes. In that, we are having hot gas welding, then hot tool welding, high frequency induction welding, then laser welding, infrared welding, ultrasonic welding, and friction welding. Okay, now from this manufacturing processes, the processing of the plastics, uh, approximately three questions will be there, three to four. Sometimes they will ask you four questions, sorry, five questions. Minimum four questions will be there. And here you have to understand that from the first part, that is before that blow molding, out of these five types, they will ask you two types in the theoretical questions, and after at the end we are having some rotational transfer, compression, molding. Out of these three, they will ask you two questions, okay, and randomly from remaining they will ask you one question, approximately 4 to 5 questions, compulsory 4 questions will be there, sometimes they may go for 5 questions also. And objective separate MCQ questions will be there. So this is a very important part, this processing of the plastics. Main objective questions will be based on the second and fourth chapter, okay. Number will be larger here, or quantity will be more in terms of the MCQ questions from this second, third and fourth chapter. For first chapter, they will ask only one or maximum one question will be there. From second, third and fourth, maximum MCQs will be there, okay. In the second chapter we are going to deal with the mm, processing of the plastic, means how we are manufacturing the different plastic components with the help of respective raw materials, and that we are going to deal in the second chapter. And in the third chapter we are going to discuss the joining processes or welding processes to join different plastic components manufactured using the different methods. Now the next part or next chapter is the design of the plastic parts, okay. In the first three chapters, in the first chapter we have covered the introduction to the plastic material, we have studied their properties, then we are going to discuss their classification properties and the concept of polymerization along with some applications. In the second chapter we are going to do the processing, and we are going to convert the raw material into the different shape and size. uh, and in the third chapter we are going to deal with the joining processes, and in the fourth chapter here we are going to deal with the design, how we are going to perform the design of different plastic parts. Here they will provide you one problem statement. According to my knowledge, okay, one 8 mark numerical question will be there on this fourth chapter, 8 marks numerical question, and 4 marks theoretical question will be there, okay. Now, to understand or to solve that problem, you have to understand all these points, means how we are going to provide the tolerances, how we are going to provide the allowances, then how the design of the corners, then different kinds of undercuts will be there, different kinds of the corners will be there, different kinds of the ribs will be there, how we are going to provide or how we are going to decide the minimum wall thickness of the plastic component, then uh, different inserts will be there, okay. You have to understand all these parameters or all these points so that you can solve that numerical, okay. Only one theoretical question will be there from these points, only one theoretical question. Maximum times they will ask you tolerance, allowance, or minimum wall thickness concept, or the and different kinds of the materials which we are using for the cores or molds. This question will be there for the theoretical purpose, but to solve the numerical question, each and every concept you have to understand, each and every concept related to this tolerance, then allowance, then how we are going to do the design of the corners, design of the undercuts, then how we are going to do the design of the ribs, then how we are going to decide the minimum wall thickness, okay. All these aspects you have to study the theoretical aspect, and after that you have to implement it practically. In examination they will provide you problem statement and you have to provide the solution for that, okay. This is very important question, and to provide the solution, one definite pattern is there, definite pattern is followed, and that we will study when we will start that chapter only, okay. So this is your first section. Then after discussing, completing this first section, we will move towards the second section. Now in the second section, uh, The first two chapters, chapter that is chapter number 5 and chapter number 6. These two chapters are based on the mold designs. Okay, in the fifth chapter we are going to discuss how the design of the compression mold and transfer mold is performed. Okay, compression mold and transfer mold, how the design is performed and which are the main parts we have to consider. Okay, for example, you can say that suppose we are designing the compression mold, then how the standard insert mold body is designed, how the loading chamber is designed, how the punch is designed, how the ejector is designed, how the guided pins are designed. All these factors we are going to discuss here. And in case of the transfer molds, we are going to discuss how this technology is implemented here, or you can say that how we can use the automation part. Okay, the compression mold design, uh, we are going to study it in the brief. And the transfer mode, in case of the transfer mode, limited syllabus is there, and in that how the automation is done in this transfer mode, that question is asked, means lots of time. I think 4 or 5 times they have answered this question only, how the automation is provided. And from this chapter, uh, as per my knowledge, suppose this is your first part and this is your second part, then one numerical question will be based on this first part. Okay, this is your part A, design of the compression mold. Compulsory one numerical question will be there for 7 to 8 marks. If for 7 to 8 marks, compulsory numerical question will be there, design on the design of the compression mold. Okay, and one theoretical question will be there on this transfer mold. Numerical question of 8 marks on the design of the compression mold, and one theoretical question will be there based on the transfer mold. Okay, based on this transfer mold, theoretical question will be there, and numerical question will be based on this design of the compression mold. Okay, so this is your fifth chapter, design of compression and transfer mold. Then this, in the sixth chapter, here also we are going to make one design, mold design for injection mold design, or you can say that, yeah, this is the injection manufacturing processes which we are using to manufacture the different plastic components. And for that we required some mold, and that mold design we are going to discuss here. And with this mold design we are going to discuss the feed system, then temperature control system, and ejection system along with their applications in the brief. This is the sixth chapter. And then this is the seventh chapter, cooling of a plastic injection mold. Okay, now in this chapter, here again, one theoretical and one numerical question will be there. Theoretical question will be on this one. Lots of times they have asked this only, that is the construction of the cooling system, and on the remaining part numericals will be there. Okay, in this chapter we are going to discuss the how we are going to determine the heat quantity dissipated with the cooling. Then here heat dissipation with the natural cooling. Then what is the concept of mean temperature? And then what is the concept of thermal resistance of a mold body? And at the end we are going to deal with the uh, dimensions and constructions of the correct cooling system. Theoretically, theory will be asked on this point only, that is how we are going to do the dimensioning and construction of a correct cooling system. Numerical question will be based on this concepts to calculate the heat quantity, or how we are going to perform the cooling. Okay, how we are going to perform the cooling, heat quantity dissipated, and what is the mean temperature. And okay, and one concept is there, that is the thermal resistance of the mold body. Here again on this chapter, one numerical question will be there for 5 marks. Okay, 5 marks numerical question will be there. Some 3 4 types of numericals are there, and you will get the definite 5 marks will be there. And After this, the last, that is our eighth chapter. Okay, this is the eighth chapter is there. That is introduction of the advanced plastics. Now, this is the eighth and last chapter from this plastic engineering subject. And in this subject, we are going to discuss, or just in short, or what you can say that we are going to study here the composite plastics. Like you have studied, I think in the third year you have studied the composite materials. According to, we are using the same concept, and we are going to discuss that same concept related to the composite plastics. Okay, means in short you can say that we are going to discuss here introduction to the composite plastics. Then what is the meaning of biodegradable plastics, and one concept is there, that is the polymer degradation. What is the meaning of polymer degradation and factors affecting this polymer degradation, that we are going to discuss here. And we are basically we are going to discuss in this chapter applications of the different composite plastics and normal plastic materials in different fields like agriculture, packaging, then transport, constructions or buildings, you can say that, then electrical, in the manufacturing of the different electrical appliances or electronic appliances, then medical devices, and different kinds of the furnitures, different kinds of the furnitures. Okay, then which kind of plastic material is used and which components are manufactured. So in this chapter, uh, two to three questions will be there. One question, sorry, one question will be based on this. One question will be from these three concepts. Okay, either they will ask you what is the meaning of polymer degradation, or biodegradable plastics, or composite plastics. Okay, from these three, compulsory one question will be there. And out of these six, seven sectors, they will provide you two sectors, and they will ask you the applications of the plastic materials. Okay, so in this way, we are going to study this plastic engineering subject. Now, in short, I will summarize it. In this section 1, we will start with the introduction of the plastic material, then their classification, then their properties. After discussing this, we will go through the on which basis their classification is done, and in that we are going to discuss what is the concept of the polymerization and its different types. Then in the next chapter, we are we are going to deal with the different, in short you can say that different manufacturing processes or processing methods which can be implemented to convert the raw material of the, or available plastic material into the desired shape and size. And after that, in the third chapter, we are going to deal with the different joining methods or welding methods. And in the fourth chapter, we are going to deal with the design aspect, that is the design of the different plastic parts. Then in the fifth and sixth chapter, we are going to deal with the compression mold, transfer mold, and injection mold. We are going to discuss their design. Okay, design. Then in this seventh chapter, we'll deal with the cooling of the plastic injection mold. And in the last chapter, introduction to the advanced plastics along with their applications. So this is the theoretical part. Now I will highlight here few important points. That is, in this plastic engineering subject, from section 1, from section 1 on this chapter number 4, design of plastic parts, 7 to or 8 marks numerical question will be there. One compulsory numerical question will be there in your final examination. It will carry 7 or 8 marks. Okay, now means depending on the situation, if if suppose means they decide to go for means you can say that descriptive examination, then you have to prepare this numericals. Okay, and or otherwise MCQ questions will be there. I will provide all MCQ questions. Okay, if by chance means I think according to the my opinion, At the end you have to face the theoretical examination in the month of April or in the May month. Okay, for that, three numerical questions will be there for this plastic engineering subject. On this chapter number 4, design of plastic parts, 7 or 8 mark question, compulsory question will be there. Then on the chapter number 5, one numerical question will be there on this design of compression mold. And on chapter number 7, one numerical question compulsory will be there. Okay, I am discussing this part by considering your theoretical descriptive examination will be there. Then approximately means 20 to 24 marks numerical questions will be there. 20 to 24 marks numerical question, and that questions will be from chapter number 4, chapter number 5, and chapter number 7. Okay, three numerical questions will be there if descriptive examination is there. Okay, then after this we will discuss some thermal part, or which kind of practicals we are going to discuss here. 5 practicals we are going to perform. Each practical will require 2 turns. Okay, 2 turns will be required in the first practical. Okay, means here your internal term work or internal submission will be based on this write-up. Okay, the first practical will be introduction to the plastic material and processes. Means this is the combination of first and second chapter. Introduction to the plastic material and introduction to the different plastic processes. Okay, plastic manufacturing processes will be there. Then in the second part, we are going to deal with the design of a simple component. Okay, design of a injection mold injection mold design for simple component. Then the third, this will be based on your uh, chapter number 4. Then design of the blow mold, design of the compression mold, and one case study for mold manufacturing will be there. We are going to take one case study here. And at the end, one industrial visit will be scheduled for this plastic engineering subject. Okay, one industrial visit will be there. So in this way, you have to prepare a journal consisting of the write-up of this. You can say that 5 experiments and one industrial visit, and it will carry the internal terms 25 marks. Okay, along with other parameters like your attendance, your orals. And after this, so to understand this plastic engineering subject, one textbook is there, that is fundamentals of plastic mold design. uh, and its publication is Tata McGraw Hill's Education Private Limited, and the author's name is Sanjay Nayak. Okay, this is the textbook that you have to refer, and some reference books are there. Books I have highlighted here. Same reference books are mentioned in your syllabus copy also. Here, J.A. Bradson, author's name is here, and his book named Plastic Materials. You can refer, you can use it as a reference book. Then Schwartz and Goodman, and they have written one book named Plastic Materials and Processing. Then Erwin Rubin is the author of a book named Handbook of Plastic Materials and Technology. And one last reference book, that is the textbook of the polymer science, and it is written by Fred Billmeyer. Okay, out of this 4 reference book, you can use any one reference book, and compulsory you have to use this textbook. Okay, as far as your means exam is concerned, it is better to use this textbook given by the Sanjay Nayak. We are having some copies, Xerox copies made from this book only in our library. Okay, and I will also provide you notes chapter wise, and I will try to provide all notes and all presentations also. Okay, So this is the introduction to the plastic engineering subject that we are going to discuss in this semester. Okay, I will summarize today's lecture. We have started with this teaching and examination scheme for the plastic engineering subject. Then we have taken or we have discussed this part. Course introduction means what exactly we are going to discuss or we are going to study in this plastic engineering subject, and what are the prerequisites to understand for better understanding of this plastic engineering subject. Then actual syllabus content. Okay, it contains 8 chapters. First chapter, introduction to the plastics. And second chapter, processing of the plastics. And the third chapter, welding of the plastics. Okay, in this first chapter, I will mention one sentence for each chapter now, and I will finish this session. Okay, in the introduction of the plastics, we are going to understand what is the meaning of the plastic material, their classification, their properties, and concept of polymerization. And in the processing of plastics, we are going to deal with the different manufacturing processes that we can use for manufacturing of different components using plastic materials, like extrusion molding, blow molding, compression molding, transfer molding, rotational molding. Then in the third chapter, we are going to deal with the welding of the plastic materials with the help of different welding methods like hot gas welding, hot tool welding, and high frequency induction welding, laser welding, friction welding, etc. And in the fourth chapter, we are going to deal with the design of the plastic parts by considering various aspects. And in the fifth chapter, we are going to discuss the design of compression and transfer mold. And the sixth chapter, we are going to discuss related to the design of the injection mold. In that, we are going to deal with the feed system, temperature control system, and ejection system and their applications. In the seventh chapter, we are going to deal with the how a cooling system is designed and how we are going to determine the heat dissipated during the cooling. Okay, and some numerical questions will be there. And this is the eighth chapter. Here we are going to discuss biodegradable plastics, composite plastic, then the concept of polymer degradation and applications of the plastic materials in different fields like electrical, agriculture, medical, transportation. And at the and simultaneously we are going to perform the practicals also. Based on this, 5 practicals will be there and one industrial visit will be there. Okay, and then these are the some reference book and textbooks which you can use. Okay, so in this way, this our first lecture is completed. In this lecture, we have taken the introduction, and we have seen in means in short we have taken the review of the, you can say that, what are the syllabus contents. Okay, if you are having any question, you can ask me directly, or you can also mention that in the chat box. If you are not having any query, uh, I will stop this session. If you are having any query, please mention that in the chat box. If you are having any query, please mention it in the chat box. If all points are clear, can I stop here? Please mention that also in the chat box, means so that I can stop this session. And put your roll number for your attendance. Okay, in the chat box you have to mention your roll number. If you are not having any query, I will stop here. Kindly mention that in the chat box that all points are clear so that I can stop here. Okay, I will stop my session here. Okay, we will from next session or next lecture, we will start the first chapter, introduction to the plastics. Okay, and before joining that next session, try to go through the some concept of the polymers. Okay, polymers and polymerization. Okay, it will help you to for better understanding of the introductory part of the plastics. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you for attending this session. I will stop here. You can continue with your next next scheduled lectures, or according to the timetable you can continue.